Now for the top story tonight, joining us from Washington is the spokesman for the Department of State, P.J. Crowley. Mr. Crowley, does the Posner-Soros connection bother you at all?
Not at all. But let me tell you what Mike Posner did last week.
Wait.
Bill,
We got plenty
Bill,
of time with
Bill,
you. Let's do the Posner-Soros deal first. George Soros, you know him, big billionaire, big contributor. In fact, you did a fellow at one of his Center for American Progress, so you know him. And he's an open border guy. Okay? Posner is paid by him for years. And then you guys hire Posner in September of last year to work on big things like Chinese human rights. I'm a little worried. Should I not be worried?
You should not be worried. Mike Posner is pursuing the national interest and doing exactly what the American people would want him to do. Let me give you two examples.
Is the national interest the same as George Soros' interest? Are they the same?
National interest, Bill, there are two things that Mike Posner did last week with the Chinese. He took the delegation to a Catholic Charity Center here in Washington, D.C., where Theodore McCarrick, a distinguished cardinal here in Washington, right. He showed them what faith-based organizations do in our society and stressed the importance of freedom of religion. Mike Posner took the delegation to the Supreme Court, where Sandra Day O'Connor showed them the importance of an independent judiciary and the rule of law. And she challenged the Chinese delegation about disbarring lawyers who represent human rights cases. So we gave them a lengthy list of prisoners whom we have concerns about, who have been intimidated and imprisoned. We had this meeting expressly because the Chinese record on human rights is very, very poor.
Okay, and that's all swell. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. All right, so those good things. But then he says to the Chinese, all right, that the Arizona law, and I'm quoting him now, is a troubling trend in our society and an indication that we have to deal, we the United States, have to deal with issues of discrimination or potential discrimination. That's ridiculous. That is a ridiculous statement made to the Chinese by a Department of State official, a high-ranking one. Because Posner doesn't know whether there's going to be discrimination. He doesn't know. He's speculating. And number two, why bring it up at all in the face of really horrendous human rights violations going on in China? It just is absurd that the man said that. Is it not?
Well, let me tell you what actually Mike Posner told the Chinese.
That's what he told them. Come on, PJ, that's what he said to them.
Bill, listen carefully. What Mike Posner said to the Chinese was, look, we have a human rights debate in our country.
No, it wasn't a debate. He's saying it's a troubling trend. It's discrimination.
Bill, you and I are talking about this as part of this debate. He offered no moral equivalence between what happens in China and what happens in the United States. He made clear that the Chinese record on human rights is poor. What he was saying was that we are debating and will resolve the issue like the Arizona law, as part of a transparent legal process.
He editorialized. That's where he went wrong.
Bill,
he editorialized.
Bill, you know who else brought up the Arizona law? Sandra Day O'Connor, resident of Arizona. She doesn't
work for the federal government, PJ. She's not working for Hillary Clinton. And where is Hillary Clinton?
She's one of the most distinguished.
What is Hillary Clinton? What does the Secretary of State think?
Reagan.
What does the Secretary of State think about what Posner said about the discrimination part of the Arizona law? What does she think?
The Secretary of State feels the same way the President feels, which is in enforcing this law, there's a great potential for racial profiling. That's why we need comprehensive reform in this country.
All right. Well, that's an interesting statement that you just made. It seems to us here at The Factor, that Posner is a very far-left guy. His resume, do you know, PJ, that this guy, after 9/11, said that American Muslims, this is in 2005, were being treated the same way that Japanese Americans are treated in the internment camps in World War II. Do you know that Posner said that?
This kind of demagoguery is
not demagoguery. This is on the record. That's what the man said. Look, you know the Blumenthal thing in Connecticut? PJ.
30 years working on human rights issues.
You know the Blumenthal thing in Connecticut? You know the Blumenthal thing in Connecticut? The man said it. He served in Vietnam. He's in big trouble. But Posner can say that American Muslims were treated the same way as Japanese Americans during World War II. It's on his resume. He said it. And you guys hire him to negotiate with the Chinese. Look. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm not. I want to understand why the man has a job, why he's there.
This was a discussion with the Chinese. We weren't negotiating anything.
Posner, why did you hire Posner? Why hire a far-left zealot? Why?
He's a human rights expert. He's a compelling figure. He's in Beijing today for follow-up meetings. We are going to press these issues with the Chinese and other countries forcefully, often, and repeatedly.
I don't get why he's hired. I don't get when a guy makes radical statement after radical statement after radical statement. He's funded by George Soros, the most radical guy in the country, and you guys hire him and send him to Beijing. Was Raul Castro not available? I mean, come on.
Come on, Bill.
Come on.
Let's have a rational conversation.
That was a wise guy comment, but you're not answering my question. This guy is a far-left guy, Posner.
This guy is a human rights expert and a compelling advocate for human rights, not only around the world, but also in the United States.
All right. PJ, you're a stand-up guy for coming in and taking a fire. You are a stand-up guy.
Okay, Bill.
And I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.